Thanks for joining us here. My name is Scott B. Harris and I'm the author of the book Crashing into Potential, Living with My Injured Brain. This is a memoir that I've written and published that follows me through a journey from when I was an apprentice electrician all the way through adversity when I had a motorbike accident when I was 23 years old. I have with me here today Gabby and Catherine to help explain to you the teacher's resource that we have developed that will help you teach this book in your class. The first thing I'll do is come in and do a presentation to your students. Then they'll go away and read my book with the teacher's resources. Then I'll come back and I'll do a resilience workshop and a brain injury workshop.
And the idea is you can jump in or jump out, whatever works for your school and your budget.
Gab and I are helping Scott with the writing of the teaching resource. The way we tackled it is we went by chapter and we pulled out the key themes of each chapter, and then we mapped it to the literacy learning outcomes. So for those that study VCAL or are about to teach VCAL, you would know that there are 4 writing outcomes, 4 reading outcomes, and 4 Oracy outcomes. So we're covering all those literacy outcomes with the resource that we're putting together.
So what we did for each chapter is we picked out the key themes or ideas or topics that we might want to study, and we looked at how we could write up tasks to meet these outcomes that would be interesting, topical, relevant, timely for the young people in our classrooms. And we thought about, we've got quite a diverse, each of us have diverse classrooms, so we thought about the students within it and how they might like to tackle it. We've used our real life experience
Absolutely.
and our current practice of VCAL to write up the tasks.
I think it's worth mentioning that we're both VCAL teachers. So when we wrote this program, we kept VCAL teachers in mind and the VCAL classroom. So we kept the activities quite accessible, and we also jumped in and out of the book. So sometimes we, rather than teaching explicitly what's in the book, we jump out and get them to compare something in real life.
Yeah, so they can actually look at ways that they can make connections with their own experience or their own areas of interest.
Can you explain to me and everybody watching what level this program and these resources have been written towards?
Gab and I wanted to tackle foundation, intermediate and senior with the writing of the program. We started off by writing foundation and then found that it quite organically flew into intermediate and senior by adding extra questions so that the additional elements are met. Gab actually created a wonderful rubric that's actually quite accessible and easy to use, in which all the elements are reflected, and so the teacher can show and direct students as to which questions should be answered to meet each level.
Yeah, to meet the level that they need to be working at.
Oh,
so
awesome.
If, for example, they haven't quite got intermediate and they're supposed to be working on intermediate, there's a very visual sort of clue as to what they need to work on. So, and it's based purely on the way the learning outcomes have been written up.
So Scotty, how about you tell us a little bit about your workshops and what the students gain from those workshops?
Okay, so the keynote presentation I come in and do with the students, that goes for an hour. I cover the four main lessons that I've learnt throughout my recovery. They are the choices we make, the mindset and how to develop a growth mindset that helps us get through adversity and trauma. Then I talk about goal setting and how to build a roadmap, and then I finish off with persistence, which is going out and actually achieving those goals. And then the resilience workshop goes through building. I get the students to build their own roadmap, and then planning out that roadmap. So, for example, they will be setting goals, but they will be setting goals. They'll be setting long-term goals, but they'll also be setting their short-term goals in order to get there. You know, their 1-day goals, their 1-week goals, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year goals, a whole range of goals, and that sort of builds a roadmap for them to follow. And then we talk about weekly planning and planning those goals into our week, and then I talk about a little bit about gratitude and how gratitude how gratitude has helped me in my recovery, overcome the adversity that I've been through. And then I'll finish up with meditation, which goes for 10 minutes, and that's kind of my favourite part of the workshop, because that gives me the chance to show the students exactly how good meditation is and what it's done for me and my brain.
Gab and I have focused our program on covering literacy, but naturally you can see that with your resilience workshop, many of the PDS Unit 1 outcomes can be met. Having the students explore areas like resilience, gratitude, goal setting. They're all things that would help meet outcomes for PDS.
And then I have my brain injury workshop, which is gaining a little bit of empathy from the students towards people with a brain injury or people with a disability, and it also gives them an example of what it feels like to live your life with a brain injury. So we go through little exercises that'll show them exactly what it feels like when a brain is injured.
And that's a nice lead into PDS Unit 2 for teachers who would like to take their students on a bit of a journey into the area of disability.
And that's it from us today. Thanks for your time. If you'd like any more information on how you can get the book or the program into your school, or have me come out and speak to your students, you can go to my website, www.scottbharris.com.au. Thanks for joining us.